Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who You'd, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben, and I'm here with my co host, Cam. Today, we're talking about the fifth Doctor story, Snakedance. But before we get into the episode, how you doing today, Cam?
I'm doing. We're recording this on a Wednesday night, halfway through the week. It's just like, all right, week's halfway over, but it's like, oh God, it's only halfway over. I still got 2 more days till I get that weekend. And this is not one of those weekends where I'm like, ooh, like it's relaxation. I got a lot of things to do this weekend, Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah,
busy, busy.
busy. Like I'm busy all December, which kind of sucks. I'm fully booked. You know.
Hey, going to see Avatar
Yes.
and other things, I'm sure.
Did Kill Bill, the whole Bloody Affair is this weekend, and then I know at the end of the month I'm probably gonna go see Mighty Supreme on 70 millimeter. So, and then not even counting that, there's all like the theatrical stuff that I need to go see. I need to go. Hamnet is this weekend. I probably need to go see Hamnet.
Is
Um,
Hamnet this weekend? I
yeah,
thought it
that's
was
this
delayed.
weekend. At least for the theaters near me, it's this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I guess my theater just did not get it.
and then like Ella McKay. I've been hearing some reports that's supposed to be one of the worst movies ever. I love Broadcast News, which is directed by James L. Brooks. James L. Brooks, of course, also is the longtime producer, or one of the producers of The Simpsons. And basically, people being like, he made a movie that doesn't feel like it was made by a human being. So I'm very curious to see what the fuck this movie is like. I think I'm gonna try to watch his whole filmography this month.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then been playing that Clear Obscure. I forget if I mentioned in the last episode.
You
The Clear
did.
Obscure is
The,
very good.
Me editing Arc of Infinity, you talking about it again. I was like, you know what? Sure. So I bought it, and I've been playing it yesterday and today, and I can't stop. And I know I'm gonna lose like at least 2 weeks of my life to it.
You're still in Act 1, right?
I'm still in Act One.
Okay.
And as we were talking about last episode, combat is very fun.
Yeah.
Even the random encounters are very fun. It's got such an energy to it. Training combos between party members, having to dodge and parry, and I'm never bored. And the
No.
story is very intriguing. I appreciate the extreme lack of exposition. You're just in it and they trust you to figure it out.
I will say, like, it does something that very few video games does. I don't even know, like, any on the top of my head that does it as well as Expedition 33. There probably is. But, like, so many video games that have great stories, let's say Naughty Dog games like The Last of Us. The gameplay of The Last of Us is kind of not why you're playing The Last of Us. You're more playing it to get to the next cutscene. While
Yeah.
Clear Obscure does a perfect melding of the two. Of like you care just as much about the story as you do about your next battle. You're never in the battle going, "Oh, I wish I could just get to the next cutscene." You're never in a cutscene going, "Oh, I don't want to battle right now." It's both. You're just happy to be doing both. Basically, there's
Yeah.
equal enjoyment in both the story and the gameplay, which is very rare, I would say, in video games. Usually, it's one or the other, to at least a little bit of degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we both love Remedy games. But I don't think Remedy games are like, like the gameplay. I'm like, oh yeah. Usually it's the story that I'm like more interested in.
Yeah. Definitely. I think of theirs, Alan Wake 2, I think, is closest to that ideal symmetry.
Well, I always think maybe more control.
Eh. I like the story of Control way more than I do the gameplay. And that
I think both of them. I prefer the story.
absolutely extends to like Quantum Break. Quantum Break sucks to play, but the story is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's still the one I need to play. I have it on my Steam account. I just need to download it and play it one day.
it's 90% third person shooter, but the gunplay isn't very fun.
It doesn't make me want to play it when I found out that the TV show element wasn't really like Remedy wasn't involved in that. So I'm like, what was the point of all that then?
Yeah, it feels very disconnected.
But anyways, Ben, this
Like,
is not a video game podcast.
true, one day it will be a video game podcast, but that day is not today.
It's still called Who We Ood. It's just now a video game podcast.
Oh, it's Who You Gaming or something. It's the hit spinoff to the award-winning podcast. But this is a Doctor Who podcast for now, where we are talking about Snakedance again, the second serial of season 20.
But no, but wait. If you're new to Who We Ood, Ben, what is this podcast?
Uh, it is the podcast where we go and we review every single episode of Doctor Who, starting from the first color episode, Spearhead from Space, because Kim didn't want to watch a bunch of reconstructions.
Hey, it was also partly I didn't know how fully committed you were. Okay, there was a very easily chance that you could have got to like I don't know, like the Savages and been like, I'm done with this.
Yeah. So I watched all of the 60s by myself.
This is just a watch along podcast. We're watching Doctor Who, and we're
Yeah.
now this episode we're watching Snake Dance.
Yes, we're approaching the halfway mark for the fifth Doctor. Oh
God, that's kind of
boy.
insane.
Yeah.
Like going from Tom Baker, where it felt like we were doing it for like ever. It was a whole year. Now it's like, wow, I already see the light at the tunnel.
Yeah, no, we'll be done in like publicly we'll be done in like February or March.
That's insane.
But we'll probably record it in like January.
Yeah.
Um but Snake Dance was broadcast January 18th through January 26th, 1983 on BBC One. This was written by Christopher Bailey, who previously wrote Kinda, of course. And this was directed by Fiona Cumming, who previously directed Castrovalva and will go on to direct Enlightenment and Planet of Fire. Produced by J&T, of course. Cam, what did you think of Snake Dance?
Before we get into it, I just want to point out I was bad. I didn't realize this when we recorded Kinda, but Stephen Moffat said that he considered Snake Dancing Kinda to be the two best Doctor Who stories ever, which is also contradicting because remember he said that his favorite Doctor Who story. Well, I guess not because if you said Ark in Space was his favorite Doctor Who story, but I could understand why maybe he would say these two stories are the best. The difference between best and favorite, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but he thought that, and then also I knew that Robert Sherman has also had a lot of love for those two stories, but in particular, he has said this is his favorite Doctor Who story, was Snake Dance. So, what did I think of it, man?
Or actually, real quick, I can
Uh,
give out a synopsis, perhaps?
yes. Give us the synopsis. What is Snake Dance? Where are you going to get it from this week, man?
Courtesy of DoctorWho.tv, the website by the BBC. Tegan falls once more under the influence of the Mara and directs the TARDIS to the planet Menusa. There, the Federator's son Lon and his mother Tana are preparing for a ceremony to celebrate the banishment of the Mara 500 years earlier. But the threat of the Mara endures, and it's up to the Doctor to defeat it.
Pretty
So,
good
what do you think?
synopsis. Basically, it's Kinda 2.
Yes.
It's very much a sequel to Kinda, and it's basically the same exact quality of Kinda. Kinda, I think probably the imagery of Kinda maybe surpasses it a little bit, but it has a lot of the same strengths of Kinda where very good performances. I thought especially the performance from let me get it, the actor's name. Modest Cluns, who played Lon, he was very great this episode. He has a great look. I also just love the world that was created this episode, just like Kinda. The world is very interesting. In this, like, I thought that they did actually a pretty good job with the production design this episode. And like, the Mara is such an interesting villain. The Janet Fielding does a great job this episode, and the performances, like, it's just one of those stories where you're like, "Yep, this is a good Doctor Who story." I
Yes.
definitely think it's in the camp though. I think Kinder's in the same way. I forget if I said this during Kinder, but I definitely am excited to rewatch this in Kinder. I think both of them I would even like more on a rewatch. because there is a decent amount of stuff going on. There is surreal imagery, um, that I think that if I watched it for a second time, I think I would get even more enjoyment out of these stories. But just from a first viewing standpoint, both are very solid, and this one I think is pretty equal. Which I, as someone who liked Kinda, I like this story. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think it is definitely in the camp of pretty good. Very similar to Kinda. Um, I might like this one a little bit more than Kinda even. I
Okay.
found this world and its kind of mythology and just like the what the beat by beat of this story I found, explore doing like this archaeological aspect, and it's more interesting than like there's this guy that goes crazy and the people that don't talk. The world is more interesting.
I would agree with you, the world's more interesting here, but Kinda does have the better surreal imagery.
I would agree. The surreal imagery here I think is still good.
Yes.
Particularly the last like 5 minutes or so of this, the kind of final battle
Yeah.
is pretty good. With like Tegan's face in the mouth of the snake
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying, "Look at me, doctor."
And then especially when you consider the budgets and time restrictions they would have had, like, they did a
Yes.
really good job with that
It's a
stuff.
much better puppet this time too.
Yes.
You're very solid. Is it Janet Fielding does a really great job with this kind of Mara persona. Little less of a jester and more of just evil. Is
Yeah.
missing that kind of whimsy that it had in Kinda, but it's still very good.
And, like, I just wanna point out that before we go more into the story, that I think the reason why these episodes are so loved by the fandom is because in a lot of ways, these stories there's not a lot of other Doctor Who quite like these stories. Like, it's even hard for me to put it to words, but, like, that sense of the world building in both of them are really strong, and the Mara as a villain is much different from your typical Doctor Who villain. Much more surreal and much more just like a representation of evil.
Yes, this entity, ethereal force of evil.
Definitely a time where Doctor Who is more fantasy than science fiction, and we don't really get that from the villains a lot. Like, I think that you could probably say, like, there is a little bit of hints of this in a story like The Story in the Engine, which a lot of fans did love. I think that's probably the reason why, but, like, I think it's an outlier for sure, and I think that there's something to be really well, for Doctor Who, which is a show that has done so much, it's cool that we have these 2 stories that feel really unique in this mountain of Doctor Who.
Yes. Especially for this era of the show with the Fifth Doctor, who is has a bias towards kind of blandness.
Yeah, but he's very good in this story. He very much is like a similar to, like, a Tom Baker in, like, a season 13 story where he's very much, like, aware of the threat of the Mara, this story, and is very much serious. There's no jokes in this story that the Fifth Doctor
No.
has that I could think of.
There's
Very
not
much like
many.
many jokes that he does, period.
Yeah, this era of the show doesn't really have many jokes.
But, like, you know what I'm saying, though? He's not even, like, being charmful. He's much more like, "No, this you don't understand. I need to, like, this I need to save the day." That's just
Yes.
him throughout the whole story. There's no time for him to play cricket this story, Ben, is what I'm trying to say.
No. I do really like all his interactions with Tegan. Uh, I think he is. It's not often that I say this, but I think he is a good doctor for this story.
Yeah,
A little bit of a softer, empathetic. It's over, Tegan, kind of thing.
yeah. Like, that moment at, like, the end of this story is very strong.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you would have got that with like a Tom or Pertwee. But what else to talk about, man?
Nyssa finally has a change of clothes.
But I like Nissa this story. Like Nissa, I like when the Doctor and Nissa are together, and they are the duo. I like them as a duo, and I think I like that this is kind of building off of them as a duo from Argument for
Yeah.
Infinity.
This both this story and the last, Tegan has kind of been doing her own thing, and
Yeah.
then Nyssa hangs out with the Doctor, which is a format that we know works. We had Harry accompanying the Doctor while Sarah is saving the day elsewhere, and yeah, it works here.
What did you think of Juan this episode, Ben?
He was pretty good. I kept thinking he looks like he looks like a Culkin, like Macaulay Culkin.
I was thinking of Skarsgård myself.
Like he's got that kind of facial structure.
Like, do you
Like
not like?
tell me that's not Lon right there.
Nah, dude. You're gonna see even more with like Bill Skarsgård.
I see more Culkin. Maybe it's the hair color and style as well.
Yeah.
I see that a little bit more. But yeah, he is a good
A good evil prince character. He does that very
yes,
well.
that
Like
you can love to hate.
yeah, like a little bit of a crackling evilness to him. He's very good with Janet Failure.
Yes,
They have good
they
chemistry
play off
together.
each other very well. What about Chella? This guy who's helping the Doctor throughout this.
He was fine. If you don't remember, he's like the helper of the Doctor in like
Yeah,
the second half. Would you say?
yeah. He like breaks him out of prison and gives him the mini crystal.
Like he's fine. He's the traditional like. All right, I'm gonna help you, Doctor. There's not really that much to him. I thought you were gonna say the guy that owns like the House of Mirrors. I don't know that guy's name.
He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have a name,
He's credited as Hawker,
but he's great
but
this
that's just like a
episode.
term for like, hey, come on down, yada.
But he adds a lot of flavor to the first two pots, as well as the end of the pot one that like the fortune teller. She is great. I loved the fortune teller. She gives a great performance and makes that first cliffhanger work as well as it does, which we will of course talk about later.
Yeah. I mean, we can go beat by our um character by character, but I don't know how interesting that is.
Nah, because there's not really that
Um,
many more interesting characters here. They're just kind of your standard. She's like the queen, and then like they're the helper. You know.
yeah, I want to do this story justice, but I don't know how else to lead the conversation.
But also, this is like I said, this is kind of a hard one because like I feel like to have the best conversation about the story, we would have to both watch it twice
Yeah.
because like there is a decent amount there to this story.
Hmm.
Like for a first time watch, it is a little bit like I'm all right. I'm just taking all this in.
Yeah. Yeah. If I watch it again, I could like digest it a little bit more and be able to say, "Oh yeah, this was good. This part and that part."
Which is why also I think that Snake Dance and Kinda had a mixed reaction at the beginning, from the fandom because like they're not like the most like, "Oh, I watched this once and I love this." Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Both of them because of the surrealist elements and like the supernatural elements.
it's a little bit more of a thinker.
It's a little bit more of a thinker, a little bit more of like you have to sit on it and like will get better the more times you have watched it, which is when you have someone like a Robert Sherman or a Stephen Moffat, who has probably watched these stories dozens of times on
Yeah,
VHS.
I'm
Like,
peeking at the polls, and that does seem to hold true.
But also, like, that's not even counting the fandom back in 1980s,
True.
which I think I read somewhere that Kinda was, like, the worst rated story of season 19 when it came out. Like, Kinda below Ford of Doomsday and Time Flight then.
Crazy. Is it worth mentioning the ratings or is it unremarkable?
Like, I forget, we didn't really talk about Ocarina of Infinity, but it's a slight dip from 19. Yeah, there was kind of on par with Ocarina of Infinity that they're kind of a little bit more down there. It's not like those
In
high,
the 6, 7 range.
yeah, which I think is probably just about right for its time slot, but it isn't like, oh my god, this is event TV, which kind of makes sense because it's no longer his first season as the Doctor. It's not longer new or exciting.
Yeah. Should we talk about special effects?
Yeah, let's talk about, actually, before, do we do special effects first or do we do how to fix the story?
Let's do special effects real quick.
Okay, special effects. I would say the best special effect is probably what you mentioned, the end bit of Jenna Fielding with inside the snake.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit crude, but I think it
Yeah.
works pretty
The
well.
idea of it works really well.
Yeah. An honorary mention, I thought. Um, anytime like the doctor holding the crystals and it's
Yeah.
like glowing, I thought that looked very good.
I love the part 1 cliffhanger of the snake skull coming at you in the crystal ball. That aspect
Yeah.
looks very good.
And that skull is so evil looking and it like slowly opens its mouth.
Yeah.
Really kind of scary. And what would be the worst?
I don't think the story has a worse special effect to my memory. There's nothing here that I'm like, "Oh, that looks really bad."
Uh,
Maybe whatever set they meet that the old person on?
Dojin?
Yeah, like, doesn't look particularly great.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. Oh, I forgot about this imagery where she's looking in the mirror and it's the snake skull.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through the wiki and I completely forgot about it. How did you like the like 3 minute long puppet show?
Alright, I was just thinking, like, where did these type of puppet shows go? Like, were you thinking the same thing? Or, like, it's like, we don't do puppet shows like this where it's like the puppet shows where, like, you look at this in history and it's like, this is just Looney Tunes before Looney Tunes of they're just beating each other, and the kids are just laughing, and the adults are laughing because it's just
Yeah,
puppets beating the shit out
going
of each
eh,
other.
eh, eh.
And, like, you could just see the progression of that to, Donald Duck, not Donald Duck, sorry, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
I mean, that would have they would have been before this though,
What do you
right?
mean?
Looney Tunes?
No, but the in culture, Ben. Those that was an actual based off of a real thing in, like, medieval times with those
Oh,
dolls.
yeah. I was
Um,
thinking this instance in particular.
but I'm saying no, but that was something that they would do in real life, in
Yeah,
history.
probably.
It's like not probably, that's what they did. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I was just talking, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this was, like, Looney Tunes before Looney Tunes." That's what was going through my head.
After about 30 seconds, I was ready to be done with it, though. It went on way too long.
I'm just imagining John Nathan Turner is the producer, and he's like, "Guys, we spent a good chunk on these puppets. We gotta get a use out of them. We're renting them for £300 a day. So you know what? We got it for this one day only. I want as much puppets as we can. Get rolling, guys."
I mean, they probably just recorded like a 10-minute show and then just cut the best bits of it.
No, they wouldn't bet that's also like such a waste of time to record like a 10-minute show. I got stuff to
Probably.
do, Ben.
This is also the second story in a row to have a puppet show because there was also one at the end of Arc Infinity.
We'll see you next week, guys. Stay tuned.
Is that the connecting theme of this season? We're all just puppets putting on a show.
But imagine, like, at the end of this season, it's the celestial toy maker. It's been all set up this whole entire time.
Whoa, trippy. So, other than making it a longer puppet sequence, how would you improve this story?
I don't know. Like, again, this is one of the things where this story is hard with because it's like at this moment, I don't really know what to fix in this story because I feel like I need to watch it again to really get a full understanding of it, and know its weaknesses and flaws, because I like the majority of it.
Yeah,
Um, maybe give me there's a point in, like, episode 3 where we don't get a lot uh, of Tegan slash the Mara. I was kinda missing her, the Mara, in part 3. So I would say maybe a little bit more of her in that 3rd part.
I think I did really like this story. I think if in like part 3 we had like this story, I think felt like it was missing like a shift, like
Yeah.
something to raise the stakes or change the scenario, if you know what I
Also,
mean.
part 3, the Doctor is in prison throughout the whole episode. Get him out of that prison by the beginning of episode 3.
Yeah.
Like, he spends way too much locked up, and it's just like, "Alright, I'm done with this." You could have you could have made this a little bit more faster.
If only he had this sonic screwdriver.
No, it's not even that, it's the psychic papers, which you'll get to at some point.
In Visitation, we never really talked about the end of the sonic screwdriver.
I mentioned it.
I feel like we didn't really dive deep into it.
No, we didn't. I think I was like, "Wow," and then the sonic screwdriver's gone, and we are like, "Okay, next thing."
Yeah.
And but you also, I think a part of it, the part most of the conversation was me like, "It's gone," and you being like, "It's not gone." I'm like, "Ben, I'm telling you, it's really just you don't see it for the rest of Classic Doctor Who." And you're like, "No, you can't be serious." I'm like, "Ben,
Yeah.
I'm telling you."
I still kind of crazy.
Yeah.
At this point, that's the iconic imagery alongside the TARDIS.
But again, it's different era, Ben. They don't have to make the toys out of it. Nowadays, you'd be like, "We can't get rid of the sonic screwdriver. We gotta sell this merchandise."
No.
The
Yeah, at this
these
point,
these
every doctor
sad
needs
these
this sonic
sad
screwdriver.
these sad middle-aged guys are gonna buy every single sonic screwdriver that we release, so we need to keep on pumping them out.
Like, did 14 really need his own sonic screwdriver for 3 stories?
Not like,
A
and
unique
then, but
design?
I like 14 sonic screwdriver. 15 is the one where I'm like, I don't understand like why it's like a tab, it's like a phone thing. Like,
Do you think they'll go back to a wand for 16?
that's my hope. My hope. But then Russell T Davies had that weird thing where he's like, it's a gun. It's like nobody thought sonic screwdriver was a gun
No,
also.
it's a magic wand, not a gun.
Like, yeah, that the equivalent of that would be like people complaining about Harry Potter with guns. It's like, no, it's a wand. Unless you're playing like the EA games where it's just a gun.
I mean, this is incredibly off topic, but the later movies, even they're doing a lot more just like bam, 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 bam,
Yeah, they're
not
just guns.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Yeah,
It's just bam, 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 bam.
yeah. Which the Doctor kind of does too at one point, which we'll discuss when we get to it. And it's really weird because you're like, why is the Doctor shooting things out of his gun, out of his sonic screwdriver, like it's a gun?
Well, should we talk about cliffhangers?
Sure, Ben. Let's get to the cliffhangers. What's the cliffhangers this week?
One, uh, Tegan, possessed by the Mara, tells the fortune teller to look in her crystal ball, and they see a snake skull opening its mouth.
Ah,
And the fortune teller
scary.
screams.
I was screaming too.
Two, Tegan and Lon, both possessed by the Mara, tell the salesman to look at me. And the final shot is Tegan's eyes glowing red.
I would piss my pants.
Three, uh, Cella, the doctor, and Nyssa are cornered by guards. Uh, the guards draw their swords, and Nyssa screams.
Ah,
What's the best one? One?
it's the first one.
Absolutely. So, Cam, how would you rate Snakedance?
Again, I think I would rate it higher on a second watch, but on my first time watch, I'm gonna give this an 8.3. A little bit higher than Kinda, but I think I like the Visitation a little bit more so far.
Oh, I rated Kinda very high. Um, I'm gonna do 8.6 for an average ranking of 8.45.
Very interesting at the start of this episode, you were like, I like this more than Kinda. I was like, wow, shocking. And then the rating wise we flipped at the end of the podcast conversation.
I mean, yeah, I might
I
have
think
rated
you
Kinda too high, or
I think part of it, Ben, it's the Fort of Doomsday. Right next to Fort of Doomsday, you were like, oh my god.
yes, that I mean that's probably a major factor.
And then this isn't Fort of Doomsday.
Um, but good, very good. To talk about the polls, Doctor Who magazine does a poll every decade since the 90s. In 2023, Snake Dance was rated 9 out of 20. In 2014, it was 8. And in 2009 and 1998, it was ranked 13th. So a big jump between 2009 and 2014 that brought it up into the top 10.
And in 2014, the last time we had a full poll, it ranked 112 in between Smith and Jones in the Moon Base.
And for Doctor Who magazine, of ones we've watched, this is right above Castrovalva and a little bit below The Visitation.
Interesting, because I like the Visitation more.
Well,
But
and The
you didn't.
Visitation is higher.
Oh, the Visitation
Uh,
is higher.
yeah.
Okay.
Castrovalva's lower, Visitation is
Yeah,
higher.
Then I'm in fan consensus you want.
But significantly lower than Kinda, which is number 4.
Yeah. Which I think we both think it's a pretty similar in quality between the two.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I guess that'll do it for today's episode. Next time, we will be talking about Modern Undead. I
He's
think that's how
back.
you pronounce it.
He's back again. He's back, and we're gonna see him on the podcast.
It's the brig. Spoilers. And also new companion. Are you ready for a new companion, or do you wish he was more of the Nyssa and Tegan show?
I was hoping it was gonna be more Nyssa and Tegan. I thought that Turlo appeared at the end of the season. I don't know why I thought in my head that he appeared in King's Demons, but
No. King's Demons, we get a
like,
different companion.
yeah, that's when we get Chameleon. Get ready for Chameleon.
I am so fucking hyped for Chameleon.
And then we're gonna get the segment of it's gonna be like the Keenan all over again. You're like, what do you think of Chameleon this episode? I'm gonna be like, bad.
So, tune in next week for that and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out.